Man, we are this close to finally being able to play some Battlefield 6. After what feels like years of speculation, we finally have some absolute nailed-on facts. So speculation and an open beta to play very shortly. And I am excited. What is up, guys? My name is Chris, welcome to Tactless, and today we're talking some Battlefield 6. The beta comes out in about 3 or 4 days. As the time of recording this video, I'm going to play it as soon as I can. Unfortunately, I can't make the weekend beta this weekend on the 9th, 10th. So I'll be playing on the 14th of August, and I'm pretty pumped, I have to say. So this is the biggest beta Battlefield have ever done. In years gone by, they've just had single map betas and stuff like that. This is going to be big. So the beta coming up shortly on August 9th, 10th is going to feature the Iberian Offensive map, the Liberation Peak map, and the Siege of Cairo map. That's 3 maps, and we're going to have 5 game modes: it's Conquest, Breakthrough, Dom, King of the Hill, and Closed Weapon Conquest. DICE have already said they're going to support both closed and open weapon at launch, so we'll see how that goes down. But that is all they're going to release for the first beta. For the second and third betas, or the second beta, I guess, on the August 14th, 17th, there's going to be all the maps above, plus an Empire State map, and all the modes above, plus Rush, Squad Deathmatch, and more. And when I say above, I obviously mean what I just read out. I'm reading a notes page, and that's why that sounds a bit screwed up. But yeah, that is pretty much all they're going to have. They're going to have some reduced weapon sets for the base, which I think is probably a good thing. You know, leave a little bit of something for the big game. And that is all they wrote really as terms of like nailed on facts for the beta. We also know there's going to be a $6.99 or $69.99 launch price, which I'm happy about. It's better than the way the industry is going with the new like $80, $90 AAA games that are coming out. So it's nice to hear for once EA aren't going to scrounge us for every penny. And obviously they're going to release a premium edition, which I think is $99.99. I could be wrong there. That's the Phantom edition. It's going to have a few extra little goodies that I'll put on screen now. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped and looking forward to checking this out. So what you were seeing on screen just behind me there is all of the, I guess, current beta client information. So just some of the graphic settings and bits and bobs, and really the PC specs are pretty damn realistic. They're actually like not conservative, but they're actually pretty good, like better than I thought they were going to be, at least for the beta. DICE have already said there's going to be a 55 gig minimum download for the full game when it comes out. The beta's I think about 33 or 35 gig. And they've also said that you can pick and choose what you want. So if you just want to play the single player campaign, you just play the single player campaign. If you just want the multiplayer, you just play the multiplayer. If you want it all, you download it all, which I think is nice in the era of games that are creeping up to 150, 200 gigs sometimes, the clients. It's cool to see that DICE are going the other way and having a pretty reasonable download size, and you can trim it as you wish. You're not forced to download a bunch of stuff that you're never going to use, which is cool. The actual game, when it comes out, is going to have 8 game modes. So in addition to the beta game modes, they're going to have a squad deathmatch, and on top of that they have 9 maps at launch, including Operation Firestorm, which is obviously from Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. So I'm looking forward to playing that. I think DICE have already said they want to put more throwback maps in at some point, so that's going to be cool as well. I can already think off the top of my head of a few that I want in. I can't remember the name of it, but the one where the big building falls down in the middle, I think, is pretty cool. And probably Operation Metro, just for some like proper throwback, because that was the first Battlefield 3 map I played on Battlefield 3, and for some reason it's just ingrained in my memory. So pretty pumped about all those things. Crossplay is confirmed, which is fair enough. I think it's kind of to be expected at this point in the industry. They've also cross progression, which is nice. I guess it's all going to be tied into your EA account, but they have said that your EA app will not have to be downloaded for PC at least. So if you want to buy it on Steam, you just launch it on Steam and you don't have to go into the EA app, which is sweet. I do wonder why they've done that, if they've gone away from the EA app. Is that a new direction, maybe? I think that's a good thing, don't get me wrong. I'm just surprised EA have done it. But we will see where that goes, I guess. Server browser sounds like it still might be work in progress. I think it's probably going to be in the game at some point, just the way that people are calling out for it. I would be very surprised if it didn't make its way into the game at some point, maybe even at launch, who knows. Portal is back, and it looks way better and way bigger than previous Battlefield games. I really think it was a massively underutilized thing. Remember when I first saw it in the Battlefield 1943 trailer, and not 1943, 2042. I don't know why I said 1943, 2140. You know what I mean. Anyway, when I first saw the Portal game mode like teased, I thought, wow, this is going to be amazing. We're going to be able to play World War II in modern settings and all that kind of stuff. But it actually looks like it's finally going to make it into the game with its full potential, which I'm pretty pumped about. So they've already said it's going to be way deeper and way more utilized in this Battlefield. It's going to have an updated and expanded toolset to create wider experiences. Their quote, not mine. It's going to have a special editor that's going to be basically, looks like it's just going to be able to manipulate maps. Some people have said it's going to be able to like completely start fresh with maps. I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen any concrete stuff to say that, but I have seen where they've said that you can manipulate maps. You can put elements into maps that you couldn't before or weren't there before. You can create custom UIs. You can script NPCs and AI characters. I think that's going to be really interesting. You can have custom rule sets, which I think is going to be another element to the game that could be massively utilized. They say there's going to be full progression and XP gain. That's obviously a good thing. I just hope they don't abuse it. I don't know if you can, obviously, but I could see that being used in the wrong way, that it could be abused, but we will see. And the most exciting thing about Portal is it launches with the game, which is going to be cool. The Battle Royale mode is back. Firestorm, I think it was called in Battlefield originally. Free to play, which I think makes sense considering it's going up against Warzone primarily, which is also free to play. It doesn't look like it's going to launch with the game, which again isn't really a bad thing. I don't think there's anyone really buying Battlefield 6 solely for the Battle Royale. Obviously, if they were, they wouldn't be buying it anyway, so it's not a huge loss, I would say. I think it'll be a cool thing to release like around Christmas, just to boost those sales up a little bit and bring those new players back into the game around Christmas time, which I think is going to be really cool, and I'm looking forward to playing that. I like Battle Royale games. I'm looking forward to like Arc Raiders and stuff in October. I just hope that it's not just a rush together thing thrown together, that it's just there to pad out the game. I don't think it is if it's free to play. I think it makes sense. Maybe that's where we'll see some of the more wacky skins and cosmetic stuff that they've said and promised they're not going to bring into the multiplayer like core Battlefield 6. So if they want to do that kind of stuff, maybe just leaving it out there to do it in the Battle Royale mode kind of is the most sensible way of doing it if they want to try and capitalize on that income. Yeah, we will see. It looks like keyboard and mouse support will be there for consoles, which fine, I guess. Maybe I missed a memo. I don't know how that works. You just plug into the USB port on a console now. Maybe there's a thing. I don't know. They said that's a thing though, so that'll be interesting. Again, I worry about how they balance the inputs. So maybe they need some sort of like input matchmaking, so you don't have keyboard and mouse players constantly going up against controller players, because for me that's one of the biggest gripes I have with modern crossplay, is that when I just want to sit and play on my console with a controller, I get my arse handed to me by people with keyboard and mouse. So we'll see. I think it'll be interesting to see how that gets implemented and how much of a difference it has on the core game. I think they've already said that crossplay can be limited to console crossplay and PC. I say crossplay, but obviously at that point it isn't really crossplay. So I guess we'll see how that gets fleshed out in the future. They've said some destruction elements and stuff won't be available in multiplayer, which I guess makes sense if you have a single player map where you can blow up the Brooklyn Bridge, for example, is the example they used. You can't do that in multiplayer just due to the performance constraints, which, having played Battlefield 4 on PC and remembering some of the lag that would kick off when the big destruction happened, probably not the worst thing in the world. And they've also said that some vehicles and weapons, the stuff that aren't in the beta, will be at launch. So there's going to be 40 plus weapons at launch, which seems like a good amount, I guess. So that'd be cool to see all the stuff that we don't see in the beta in the final game. So yeah, overall, I'm really psyched to play Battlefield. I don't want to sit here and say it's back, because obviously till the game comes out and launches and is in everyone's hands, it's not necessarily back. They could very easily hoodwink us into a last minute change that really just screws everything up. But man, we'll see. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm on the hype train. I'm not on the pre-order train, but I certainly am on the hype train, and I am really, really excited to play this Battlefield. So the launch event looked really cool. It seems like pretty much all the streamers, who I don't pay full attention to a lot of them, but the ones that I kind of like and know that are big Battlefield guys, are all saying good things. Obviously they have their gripes with certain things, but nothing that you wouldn't expect or they can't remedy or whatever. So that's why I hope they did this event in a way, is so they can listen to core player-based feedback and put some of the fixes and stuff in the game. I just hope they don't listen to some of the streamers who seem to be maybe big Call of Duty guys that want what I think are features that should stay in Call of Duty, But whatever, it is what it is. We will see how that goes. I do think we could have a return of the fabled Call of Duty versus Battlefield war that raged like in the 2010s. You had fanboys on both sides swearing their game is better, and if it is back in that way, it's going to be really interesting to see what the new Call of Duty brings to the table, if they go back to their roots more with skins and cosmetics, or whether they stick to the wacky cartoon shit they have now. Either way, I'm pumped, I'm excited, and I look forward to playing the beta. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.